If I do, okay. Okay.
Hey guys, Dennis here.
Chrissy.
We've got Dan there, Muddy Water Search and Recovery. Tonight we're being joined by a very special guest. You want to pronounce the name? I'm not good with names.
No, I don't want to screw it up.
I believe it's Jenny.
Okay, Jenny. Okay, yep. We did it. Okay, sorry. What were we worried about? My goodness.
And she is Marc Fullerton's aunt.
Yes.
And big thank you for Dan. I know Dan's been in contact with her. And big thank you to Dan for helping get this set up. But we are going to bring her on and we are going to discuss Marc Fullerton's case.
Yep. So let's get this.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, there she is.
And thank you for joining us tonight. This case has really been something.
Oh, I'm telling you.
It has.
Yeah.
And if you could, please share with everybody kind of what's going on, how Marc went missing, when, where he's missing from.
Right.
On June 3rd, 2020, he was reported missing from his girlfriend. And at her house, there was a lot of tore up things, like the blind and the refrigerator had a dent in it. There was gray tape pools around, bleach on the stove. But the house itself was never made a crime scene. I mean, they go to a missing persons call and report a grown man missing in just shorts. He said that he walked outside without his phone, without his shoes, without one, just only his sleep shorts. He always slept in the one shorts. And she said he walked out the door while she was in the bathroom and poof, he disappeared. He's a magician or something, Houdini. He is not, because it doesn't make any sense. But we lost the crime scene from the onset, so we've been behind from the beginning on this. We all of Marc's went and searched for him. There's been one other search. Hugh came in. I want to say about 4 months after he initially went missing. Hugh came in and they did a great search for us with their dogs and stuff. Other than that, if someone comes to us and tells us, hey, I heard this, or one of those people in that circle of people that's supposed to have all put their hands on my nephew and did what they did to him after they murdered him, some of them are, loose lips and starting to talk and things like that. And every time we get something, we give it to Pembroke County. We give it to Pembroke County right away. And we tell people that call into us or send stuff to us, copy Pembroke County on it. And we have from the beginning. But like this latest, we have the latest one we've had someone tell us that he's actually in the ground in Amarillo, Arkansas. It was put on Facebook by somebody a couple of months ago, about a month after we found out about it. But we were keeping it quiet until we get a team in there, Well, Mississippi County did call Pembroke County and tell them that, we've got some good information here that says that this boy's in the ground in Arkansas. And I said, hold, what you got? I'm going to go talk to whoever that is that told you that. And they did. I talked to that person. The next day, they were right there on her doorstep. They said they had more things to get lined up before they go and see if that boy's in that ground. And we're still waiting.
Oh, wow.
Goodness.
We're still waiting. And I don't know how that Pembroke County or Mississippi County, because you got another county involved now in Arkansas. I know that we're new to this and stuff, and I don't I'm really learning as we go. I hate to say that I'm having to learn as we go, but I am. When we have asked, it crosses the state line. Can we not ask the FBI to come in here? It's done this. We had in the beginning, somebody sent Daddy a horrible picture of Mark. I think y'all might have seen it with the gray tape across his mouth and wanted money. They text that to her. Well, Scott County come and got that from her phone. Said the FBI was going to take care of this because it came over the phone. It was a demand for payment or a kidnapping involved or whatever. And to this day, to today, FBI person contacts my sister or my brother-in-law ever. So, we've got so many unanswered questions. If someone wants to tell us where to do it, how to do it right, we'll go ahead and follow instructions. That's all we want. We just want it to be done and get that boy and get him home.
Question. This picture with the tape over his mouth, when did this supposedly happen?
I'm going to say in the first week.
After he was initially gone?
Yes. After the first police report or sheriff's report went in, when Debbie went out to her house and she said, he's been gone a couple of days or whatever. It was after that. And someone texted Debbie with this picture. I've got it and I can send it to you. And said, your son is alive. He's hurt. He's hurt bad. And if you'll send us X amount of money, I don't remember what it was, we will get him back to you. So they gave it to Scott County. And they said, we'll have to contact the FBI and this and that. And no one's ever contacted Debbie.
So did they, I know this might sound kind of silly, but did they do any fingerprints? Did they do any DNA? Did they do a handwriting analysis to see whose writing was on anything? If it appeared to be the woman that he had been seeing at that time?
I believe that someone from that office, I guess the only ones that have contacted her, they told her that the picture had been edited. How they knew that, I don't know. I mean, we have facial recognition on everything. You drive your car, your truck somewhere, and they can tell you where you've been just by running your face in front of a camera. I mean, why can't they take that picture? Can
you see it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Debbie gave them that picture, and they said that it was cropped and cut and this, that. But you can tell it's Mark's eyes. 1/4 of the picture is. I mean, we've stared at that picture for now 2 years and 10 months. So we've said it's not him, it is him. I don't know. No one's ever done anything with that.
Wow.
It looks like him.
Yes, it does. I mean, I don't know the shadowing. We've blown it up and looked at it really closely. And the shadowing on where his nose is right there, I think that there's a difference in one side of the picture, but still, I mean, that's.
What was that a picture of?
Hey, it's not. It's nothing surprises me anymore. About a month and a half ago, we were having people were contacting us, telling us, "Have you seen that video whenever they killed me?" I was like, "They took a video of it." Now that's a new one on me. They said, "Yeah, they pulled his toenails out." And somebody videotaped themselves having their toenails pulled out and said it was Mark Randall's feet. These people, I mean, and they're going to be running this country in a little while. I don't know what we're going to do.
Wow.
It is unbelievable. The stuff that my sisters, and I'm sure Fu, that they have to deal with on a daily basis is unbelievable. And they won't let go. When are y'all gonna stop looking for that boy? Well, when do you stop looking for your kids? You don't. I mean, you can't.
Nope.
We are a ritualistic kind of people. We have our own little thing we do when we lose somebody to death. We bring them home. We mourn them. We do our cremation, or we put them in the ground, or this or that. And we can't get past that last step. We can't complete this until we get
Goodness
do that.
gracious. Ooh.
I'm sure I've left out a bunch of stuff there, but you know, I haven't found anything, Dennis, that I am not comfortable sharing. So I'll let you know.
That's
Okay.
fine. That's fine.
Now they did find sheets with blood on them, a mattress with bullet holes in them. Down by they call it a ditch there, but it's looks like a canal.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Or how about the picture, the Google picture of the black truck with the tarped, it looks like a tarped body in the back, huh?
yeah.
Whose truck is that?
Now, do you know if a search is ever done in the area that the mattress was found?
You know, Food had some people come in that, you know, weren't with the whole, they came in more than once, you know, and they went up and down those ditches, those wide canal looking ditches. I think they have, but I don't know. I'm sure they have been more than once.
Right.
Going out, my father, before he passed away, and my brothers were going out, you know, every day, thinking that we'd find something. No.
Now I did share with Dennis and the rest of the guys the map I pulled up of the house where it happened at, and it also pointed out where the sheets were found. And there's a cemetery that's diagonal from that house. Has that been searched?
I have not been with them when they did that. The one that you pointed out to me where you were looking for, and you had the place that one. I have asked about that one that you and I talked about a month and a half, 2 months ago. Might have been that. But I can't get a answer yes on it, so I'll have to say no. I don't have any record of it being searched, you know.
So I'm kind of curious. I'm sorry I joined in just a few minutes late, and I didn't catch the first few minutes of the conversation when you all started. I did watch quite a few videos today of other people's basically version of what happened, so on and so forth. And for the most part, most of the stories were pretty similar in, you know, what people had been saying happened.
Mm-hmm.
So for the most part, the woman that he was seeing and the hiding of the truck that day or the night before, all that stuff is true. If she had been in relationships with different police officers at that time,
That's true.
So the majority of the stuff that is also out there on other people's YouTube channels is pretty much is true stuff. Then
Those allegations are the same allegations we've been dealing with since the beginning. And they are what Mark said was going on there too. Because Mark, you know, he was 4 days he was leaving that Friday. He was moving back to Hayti. I mean, he was 4 days away from being finished with that out there, but
yeah.
But yes, that's what we have been dealing with this whole time is, I mean, we have to drive past the murder shack. We have to drive past that place going from my mother's to town. Debbie has to drive past that place going out to our mother's. So, I mean, we'll go by and you see that one of their cars or something sitting there. Well, their vehicles are there. So, I don't know.
And I guess another thing is, in this point of everything that's going on, even though the accusations, everything that's pointed and people pointing towards this woman, is she denying stuff? Is she trying to be a helping hand? Or is she completely, I guess, not trying to say play the part that she is the person who might have committed this crime? But I guess what I'm saying is she trying to help out the situation with trying to find him, or is she totally absent of the whole situation?
Because I cannot believe you asked me that, because, you know, I was thinking last night whenever I was going to sleep about some stuff I wanted to touch on with y'all. But that first Saturday after Mark's initially reported missing, that Thursday, okay? That first Saturday when everybody was just clamoring in their side by sides, their four-wheelers, everybody was just tearing it up out there. And I remember going up, Dan, on one of those ditches that's got the new concrete bridge on it. And everybody said they found that there was something on the radio about there's something found at this bridge. Well, then everybody just goes to that new bridge. We're lined up on it, concrete, just one right after another, 2 or 3 lines of them. And everybody is over there looking down in the ditch or looking in the tunnels and stuff, just looking for something. And I look over, I've never met this chick. I mean, we've never spoke. And I said, who's that right there? And the guy that I was riding on the four-wheeler with said, that's her. And there's one person still sitting in Tony Jones's 4x4, whatever it was. And she's sitting there on her phone, head down like this. Everybody else is looking off the bridge, looking under, tromping down the ditch, snake bed, everything, looking for Mark Randall. She's over here. I mean, this is like 2 or 3 days after they filled out a report that she said he's missing. And she knew we wasn't in the right place.
Yeah.
She just sat there. And
I was just curious if she said she was innocent of any wrongdoings, if she was making an effort on her own will to help resolve the situation versus being accused of having something to do with it. Because everything that I've watched today, I kind of like to do that. Like Dennis and we'll all discuss things and stuff. And then I'll go and I'll watch other people's YouTube videos because I want to see what other people have to say. And believe it or not, it's, for the most part, either everybody said she had something to do with it or nobody said she had anything to do with it, and he's just missing. He just vanished, which, we all know, proven till, proven guilty, blah, 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 blah. So I was just curious. I was just curious what your thoughts were and what you have witnessed was, truly was, is she trying to help also find him? Is she doing stuff, or is she quiet because she seems to be the one who, had a part of it or knows or something, and she stays back, out of social media entirely of the whole situation?
I think right now she's kind of being treated as a leper. I don't see anybody over there right now because, I mean, everybody says one of these days it's going to happen. It's going to come out. Just that, well, I'm waiting for that day for 2 years and 10 months. So, and I want to hear my sister say, I'm glad I woke up this morning. I want that, just a little bit of that back, because this is, I mean, I was talking, Debbie was going to join us tonight, but I was talking to her, I don't know how many times today, because she really wanted to be with us tonight because she wants to be strong and she talks and thinks and sees and wants Mark in everything she does. But the closer we got to time to come on tonight, the more upset she got, because like I said, that girl that he was staying with, that's been there from the onset, has been a hindrance from the onset. She's not helped us at all. I mean, she didn't call for 24 hours and said that the phone was dead, didn't have a service. But she drove Mark's truck, picked up some people to come over and take a shower at 2 a.m.
Well, that is something that when I was watching the videos and stuff, I could see someone saying, I didn't have nothing to do with it. I didn't have nothing to do with it. But I just didn't get the whole point of hiding the truck. I mean, that just clearly shows, wrongdoing. Something was happening, because why would you do that? And, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm pretty sure all of us here can say at least once we have been in an argument with our girlfriend, our boyfriend, our spouse, our wife, our husband, and we walked out the house and either got in a vehicle and left or went and walked. I have a hard time believing somebody would have got up and walked out of the house with no shoes, no nothing, no debit card, no cash, no wallet, nothing. And, those two things right there to me greatly can raise a red flag. I mean, let's face it. I'm sure we've all walked out of the house without our wallets, our purse. I can admit I've walked out without my wedding ring on before.
Oh.
Piece of jewelry. But hey, I've got it tattooed right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, I do understand things happen, but when you look at the whole picture in a entirety as a whole, it's red flags all the way across. And my curiosity thought was, this woman was a little bit older. I think, was it 4 years older than him? Her past, she evidently had some issues in the past, according to all these other stuff I'd watched today. It sounds like he was trying to better himself in life, and sounds like maybe he was moving on, getting out of the area. It sounds like he was an awesome father to his children. I mean, that I heard those type of comments. So yeah, I mean, it definitely, it seems like it's red flags all the way across that something terrible happened, and he just didn't get up and disappear on his own accord to disappear out of life and start over somewhere. So,
if we would have, now, allegedly, I'll say it before I say this, allegedly, she said, I don't say her name. I don't give her any credit in my day, so I call her Poison. Okay, I'm talking about her. But allegedly, Poison said that had Plymouth Scott County made that a crime scene, this would have been over in 48 hours. Had they made our house a crime scene, because since then, in that old murder shack, they have put a brand new floor in it. Amazingly, put a new floor in that old place. I mean, it's fallen down. It's horrible looking, but there's a brand new floor in that place.
Another red flag.
I know. I mean, why didn't that place, if it had gotten a crime scene tag on it, and we'd have gotten in there, or not even us, real law enforcement, hey, you know what? They're saying this kid, this man is missing, and this place is tore up so bad. There's a bleach bottle. There's a bunch of gray tape spools. Where's the gray tape at? What are you using gray tape? So much gray tape for? Well, I think I'm going to tag this as suspicious. Just, I don't know. Do your job, dude.
Not to mention his cross was broken off.
Yeah.
There was blood on the floor.
My mother, a couple of years before that, Mark was going through a tough time. He turned to my mom, and it was an emotional time, and Mom had this cross on her neck, and she took it off, and put it around Mark's neck and put her hand over that cross and said, "Now don't take that off." And he didn't. But it was on the floor, broken.
So that there some type of fight, struggle, some type of physical confrontation between them two or him and somebody else, another man, multiple men. I mean, it's terrible. It is absolutely terrible that, this is how this has turned out, and, I think from learning with, Dennis and, the rest of the gang, that lots of times there's so much evidence of the reason why someone did disappear. And then there's times there's absolutely no evidence and a person honestly just vanished off the face of the earth. And this case, there's just red flags and evidence in which direction you look at it.
It was, I mean, we're supposed to believe that story. I mean, that must be what they accept up there, because they're not working on it anymore. We've given them so many things that we've had called into our pages that we have on Facebook or something, and people supporting us and wanting to find out what happened with him. We're to the point now, just whoever's going to get in trouble, or make a deal with them and don't get them in trouble. Just bring that kid home. If you don't have faith in your law and your law-abiding citizen, then I don't know. It's really taken. My father was a deputy, a volunteer deputy, auxiliary. My nephew was a deputy in Springfield. Mark Randall was a jailer up there for a while. So, I mean, we didn't. I mean, I speed all the time, but I just believe in that the law enforcement, we need them. We just need our law enforcement to protect us too, and there's been none of that for Mark. And that's why I told Dan earlier, I don't want to sit here and say I, me, or us. I want all of it to be on Mark, and every ounce of energy that we have, our attention to be on him. And like Debbie said, let's just finish this and get him back home. We need somebody to tell us the truth. And, I thought for all this time, all these many months, I thought, if I knew about it, if it was me, I'd write a note and put it keep writing it and sending it to Pemiscot County. I'm not going to tell you who I am, but I know that so-and-so did this and I was there and whatever. But they've been given that. Now we've told them that people have said, I was out in the driveway, and one person got out and went in there, come back out and said, y'all got to come on in. We don't kill this guy. We told you that. Well, what's it going to take to get y'all to do something?
Like, for example, the amount of emails that were sent to the governors, the state representatives, to try to get them to look into this, even to the FBI, and you get no replies back. Me and Jenny kind of bombarded them on a live stream.
We did.
we took over his live stream for him.
He probably walked up going back, who is Mark Randall Fullerton?
So what can you tell us about Mark? Who was Mark as a person?
Mark would hate all this confrontation. He would hate that so much. He hated it. He loved to laugh. I mean, there was something I read on Facebook, and Debbie and I were talking about it, and I said, you remember how we used to start laughing, and you'd say something and it'd make that much funnier, and I'd add something to it. Or when Mark and Michael and all of them would come in we would do monthly birthdays. Once a month, we'd get together and have supper somewhere, Pizza Hut or someplace. And so Mark was February birthday. So everybody in February would come up there and we'd get a big sheet cake and write everybody's name on it. It got to where we had like 10 names on it, a picture of Mark Randall and Blaine, I think. There was this thing with everybody was, oh, come on, give me a kiss on the cheek. Well, there was a big old lick. It was like, come up the side. Well, you know you like it. So that's what, we thought.
Sounds like a heck of a guy.
His daddy, right before Christmas, he said, it's about Dad. And I said, I know it is, but when you start laughing and having the great time tonight, or I used to make the boys bite bites for the reindeer. It was just, oatmeal and cinnamon and some Red Hots and stuff like that. But every year we'd have to get that in a bag, and they thought I went to the North Pole and stuff and got it.
Oh.
Such a deal of it, And then he'd take them over there, or go back to Whitney, take Aiden back over and have to sprinkle it out in the yard. So, yeah, he would, y'all love him. Y'all love him.
I watched some stuff that said that he had a laugh that would make other people laugh, and
I love that.
He was the blue-eyed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That the his eyes were people were drawn to his eyes because of his blue eyes and stuff. So it sounded like he was, everybody goes through stuff in life, but it sounds like he was a really good person.
Miss him so bad. I mean, I was telling Debbie today, really, we was trying to pull Debbie through today. She has that. But, Debbie, if we wouldn't have had this with Mark, then so many people wouldn't know him right now. So let's try to find something that Mark we're going through this pain right now, but Mark has helped somebody, has saved somebody and helped somebody. Because of his story, people are, paying more attention to their surroundings. Mark didn't know he was in trouble. Mark didn't know he was in danger. He did not think he was in danger, because let me tell you, he was his biggest fan. He would have been calling somebody, get out of me, I'm not staying here with this crazy woman, So I believe 100% that Mark did not know that he was in trouble. And I want to believe that he didn't ever know it. Just because, I've told y'all that people are giving Debbie these stories. One of them told Debbie that he was calling for his mama. And so they put him in the car and said they was going to take him to the hospital after he got shot. But they just drove him around until he died. Now, somebody told my sister that. I have that I've got like 5 notebooks, I just write what each part. If somebody says something to her, I'll just write it down. It's unfathomable. You would not believe it.
I have another question I'd like to ask. This has come up in some of our other cases that we've kind of discussed this. And, I don't know the police down there. I don't know if there's corruption, what exactly is going on, if there is not. But is there any way that the police are working on what we would call a bigger fish to fry scenario where Mark's case, it might be wrapped up in another case involved in something bigger, and they're not letting his stuff go yet because his stuff could be rolling into another situation? Is there a possibility of that?
I believe there is. I do. I really do. Especially like with this last tip that we got that was really spot on, but we would not have. It's something I wouldn't have thought of. I don't know. Someone else might have in the group, but I told Debbie, if we didn't have this group and people out there that cared enough to talk about it and do things about it, I would have never thought of that and gone down that road. But yes, I think it could be part of something else. I hope it is. I don't want to dislike Scott County. I want to support them. But,
yeah.
I want them to take care of my family too, So I do hope that this is a part of something else, is why they haven't moved on this yet. I hope it's the reason why they haven't. And I hope that it resolves itself real soon.
Yes, ma'am.
And if anybody viewing this has a question, please put it in the comments. And we'll see if we could get an answer to that.
Is it doing good? One of the families is working.
I'm trying to keep up with the comments
Yeah.
here.
I've been trying to read them too. Sometimes they go by.
Yeah, I got my phone reading the comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, he sounds like a really good guy. And I know I've questioned myself on if he did feel like he was in danger or thought something may happen. And I don't believe he knew.
Yeah.
No. I don't either. And I think that whatever happened, happened. But whoever done it, I mean, this is a small community. So the names of these people, I knew them, their families, a different generation from me, but they didn't. I don't even think that whoever did this to him, honestly, probably it was a mistake. I want to say that it was probably a mistake. And like Debbie said yesterday to me in one of her rants, that if they would have just left him alone, no matter what happened, just if there was an accident happen, just leave him there and let it be. Because they have a family too. You know?
Right.
That's not lost on me. I know that, I guess, they said that she used to like to I've never been around her, so I wouldn't know if any of that's true, but pull a gun out when they were all drinking or messed up or whatever and spin it or something, whatever, toward people. But, doing that ignorant stuff like that, we used to do stuff like that when we were kids. Something maybe not like that, but something could happen and it go off, and then it would be an accident.
Now,
I'm not trying to an excuse not after 2 years and 10 months, but
My dad grew up in Montana. My grandfather was a combine rep for Massey Ferguson. So they would go all over in the Midwest, and my grandpa's job was to try to get farmers to buy Massey Ferguson combines. And they were living somewhere in Montana, and they were not that far from being able to go to Yellowstone. And my dad, I believe, was 15 or 16 of them, and there was 4 of them in a car, and they were going fishing and they were going hunting, and one of the kids brought his shotgun with him. And my dad never told me this story when my dad was alive. My grandpa actually told this to me after my dad had passed. And he said that, my dad and his 3 buddies were in the car and they were headed, to go fishing and shooting. And my dad was sitting in the back seat on the passenger side, and the kid that was sitting in front of my dad had his gun between his legs, and they hit a bump in the road, and the kid leaned forward, and when he did, the gun came back and blew his head off in the car. And it was 100% an accident. It was nothing but
My goodness.
three 15, 16-year-old kids scared to death because this kid just accidentally blew his head off, and
Oh my goodness.
yeah, I mean, accidents happen and stuff. And, why couldn't, if it was truly an accident, they were all adults, were they not? Every single person that could have been in that house was probably an adult.
mm-hmm.
If it was truly an accident, yeah, why couldn't someone have just called 911 and said, hey, we had an accident, this happened, instead of what, truly sounds like a crime was committed and stuff, but I mean, I'm sure this has happened multiple times in the missing people world where someone has gone missing because it truly was an accident. Mm-hmm. And if people just would have made a decision instead of trying to hide it, because it's like I say, every single person is somebody's loved one, whether you're a bad person, a good person, whatever, you were somebody's loved one. Somebody loved you. And, you know, it doesn't matter if you're the one that committed the crime, you know, you're the victim of the crime. Somebody is still going to be heartbroken no matter what, whether they're the victim or they're the person who caused it. You know, so it's a sad deal. It really is.
Now, is there a possibility Mark may have known something or had something on somebody that might have wanted him to disappear?
I've heard that one too.
I heard that recently.
I've also heard that he fell off into something or just found out something when he was working up there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's something I never heard. But recently, like Dan said, you know, I've seen just a little bit of that. And he was a jailer up there for a while. So he could have. You know, it's sad that you work someplace and you see something happen that's just in your line of sight and it puts you in danger, but it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if you go down.
Now, that area, is there a lot of crime in general in that area, or is it normally pretty quiet?
Murder is and missing people. I guess I lived in a bubble because like, I can't believe this happens here. And then, you know, I live over in Arkansas, right outside of Jonesboro, and just kind of paying attention to the news around here. There were so many missing people for, I don't know, 2 or 3 months. And I have not ever heard that anybody got found. So I guess it's more of a murder is not something we have around in Missouri, right there where it happened at.
Goodness.
That's why that they usually call in the state patrol whenever they do a murder. But no, not murder. Or persons, I didn't think. But then Mark Randall went missing, and not too long after that, the man Swafford, he went missing. But they've since located him. So he was deceased, but he had walked away and something happened to him. But he's been found. It happens more, Dennis, than I was aware of. I guess I live in a cloud.
I
You
think
just never think about it.
I think a lot of people are truly blind to how many people do go missing. And this is, you know, something that I had talked with Dennis. We talked about it quite a bit last year was, you know, the news, the people that have gone missing over the last few years is truly an alarming rate. Whether it's, you know, if it is foul play, if it is someone went missing on their own want to disappear, you know, whatever it could be, the news does not do enough about it. They don't talk about it enough. They don't tell people to watch your children. You know, there's no proactive anything on the news part to say, hey, the last year in Missouri, 1,000 people went missing. That's up 10,000% from the years past. You know, in Kansas, X amount went missing. There is nothing. There is not one thing that you will ever see about it. But on the flip side, how many of us sit down and watch our local news nightly?
Yeah.
That's the downfall. So it's kind of a 50-50 thing. You know, they're definitely not doing it, but you know, we can all be honest. Most of us get all of our news from some form of social media at this point, whether it's your local news or not. You're still not sitting down at the dinner table like everybody used to with their parents or their family and eat dinner and watch the news at night, you know, when everybody got to work in school.
And that's exactly what we did, Alex. 6 o'clock.
We did
Dinner on the table, news on the TV. Yeah.
I mean, I remember growing up Sunday nights eating steak and watching 60 Minutes. You know, so but you know, there's something wrong in the world today where we have gotten away from trying, I guess I shouldn't say protect our loved ones, but there's sure nothing on the news when you go just randomly looking or doing anything. There's nothing on there about, hey, there was 10 people that went missing in the state of Missouri. You know, please have talks with your children, keep them, you know,
Yes,
harm's way, et cetera, et cetera.
absolutely.
I mean, anything and everything. And it's really sad that it's just, it doesn't happen, you know, because I do the missing, you know, I try to do it as often as I can, the missing people's reports from the Missouri State Highway Patrol and the KBI, you know, and it's just alarming that the amount of people are going missing, you know.
I didn't know that until I started, because of Mark not having teeth. 4 days before this happened, you know, he got the rest of his teeth removed and had dentures. They were also at her house. I'm gonna tell you, Mark, not walk out of that bedroom without those teeth in his head. There's no way. It'd be someone else. You have to pull him out with a truck. But you know, all of this is like, we are accepting this. You know, since Mark was missing, I call around if I see, or somebody will send it to me, a link somewhere in Wapapella or someplace right across the state line, Tennessee or Arkansas, or someplace, a body, unidentified male body. I have called, I bet since Mark went missing, 100 times to different crime labs and stuff, and put my name on there and check nameless all the time to see for unidentified. It's unbelievable, like you said, the number, and it's like we just accept it. We need to shine a light on that too. We need a lot of light shining.
Yeah, there's like on the Missouri Highway Patrol, and I know Dan's looked into this, and you know, we've all discussed it, but you know, there's different things that you can look at on like the Missouri Highway Patrol. You can look at, you know, the remains found, you can, you know, unidentified remains, and there's you know, like NamUs and the Charlie Project. You know, some of those you can break it down, and I mean, you can break it down to amputees, you know, certain, you know, bone disorders. But there's a girl that is missing in the state of Missouri who is a double amputee.
Yep.
And
Really?
she
Oh, my goodness.
found, you know, and I went and looked through, I think I did Kansas, Missouri, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Oklahoma, and I tried to find unidentified remains of amputees. You know, was, you know, skeletal remains found of someone who was missing one or both legs, you know, and there's plenty of stuff out there, but unfortunately, you know, she has not been found. And you know, there's you can break it down to tattoos. If there's remains found that still have flesh, if there's tattoos, they are documented. And then you can search by tattooed, you know, remains found with tattoos. It's unbelievable on those parts that they do put that much effort into it. And, you know, with Missouri is great at supplying pictures. The KBI, absolutely terrible. I don't care if they're listening. They're absolutely terrible. You know, every time I do the reports, there might be 2 pictures, you know, and, you know, the Missouri State Highway Patrol almost, you know, on a good week, 75% of all the people have profile pictures of missing, you know, the people that are missing, they have pictures. I don't understand why the KBI isn't getting pictures from the families, social media to post, because yeah, a name and the information is great, but you know, having a picture to put with the name, you know, well, let's face it, when we see everybody walking on the street, we see their face, we don't know their name. And I don't understand why they don't do a better job of providing, you know, more pictures and stuff. But
Now we have a good comment here. Wolfie Cat, how do we help? Question mark. That's a good, very good question. Arctic Fox says, Wolfie, support creators covering the cases, like, subscribe, and share the crap out of the videos like this one. What do you think, Alex and Dan? What do you think?
Well, I today, as soon as, we were moving forward, with tonight's show, I was all over trying to spread the word. I was even on other people's YouTube channels that had talked about Mark, and I posted on there that, hey, over here at Muddy Waters tonight, we're talking about Mark's case. If, please join in. And, I see that we do have quite a bit of people that have joined in, and, I'm very thankful that they're here to express their thoughts and, what they're saying. Cause, I find every information valuable, no matter who it comes from. We're all thankful for it, for whoever here, to help. But, keeping him alive, and I don't mean to say it, in that type of way, but keeping him alive on social media and keeping his story and picture is the absolute best thing you can do to help. You know?
Right. Yep.
I don't know how y'all do it. I mean, for y'all, y'all have to tell us how we can do it. We've got the questions and we need direction. The families do. And I don't know what we do without y'all. I don't know. People like y'all, and I know Crime Solvers. I did my first TikTok. I don't even TikTok.
He's a good guy.
I know. Right?
But it's unbelievable how y'all give and give and give, because we need it. I don't know where we'd be without y'all. So we sure appreciate y'all. And
the best thing to do is keeping everybody's faces out in the public, whether it's posting a comment on a sheriff's website when you can't create a post, put their picture on a government Facebook page if you can't create a post. Share YouTube channels,
Yep.
TikToks, anything that'll put somebody's face out into the public. Like, for example, TikTok. We all know now, after the whole ordeal with our Congress, that we got 150 million people on TikTok from America. That's 150 million people that can see a face.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. That's
So,
true.
the best thing to do is just keep faces going.
Yeah. Yep.
I always hunt down news stories, any of the Facebook groups, and that's what I did this morning. As soon as I was through eating breakfast, I was on it. I was any place that I saw Mark's name or someone talked about it, bam, I was spreading the word. Hey, this is what's going on. We're going to talk about it. This is his story, and that's the best fight to keep the fight going, because if you can't, if you called tomorrow and said, hey, we got a place to go, I need 100 people here tomorrow at 5:00 for an hour. We're going to go walk these woods. If you can't be there, the next best thing you can do is
share it.
Keep plastering it all over social media in one way, form, shape, or another, just, to make sure that, hey, people know, they know he's not here and we need to find him. We need to do something. So
the only way a case gets cold is when people stop talking about it.
That's right. And that's why, like, when I do the missing people's cases, I started doing the older cases where I went back and I started, doing every 10 years, 15 years, because so many of those cases, they are forgotten. Nobody's looking for these people no more. Nobody's talking about it. And it's really sad. I get choked up just trying to talk about it sometimes, because there's, I found out just the week before last, there's a woman missing not even 20 minutes from where I live, and she's been missing since the 70s. I didn't know it. I no clue. And I just found that out, and I start processing it, and thinking about it. And I'm just thinking, like, wow, she's gone. And there's, not trying to say it in a mean or derogatory way, but nobody cares no more.
Right.
You know, out of sight, out of mind. And, you know, so that's why I started bringing back the old cases, you know, just to show people and try to put it out there that, hey, you know, this lady went missing in 1972. This guy went missing in 1972. And I mean, there's quite a few of them, you know. So yeah, not letting things die is huge when trying to spread the word to keep, you know, people involved.
Right.
Especially when we got the technology to do DNA now. So I mean, it's going to be so easy to find a match for DNA if you find the right remains.
That's right.
Yep.
Just tell me go do theirs whenever Mark went missing because, you know, he didn't have teeth. So they wanted to get his DNA in NamUs when they got him in that. Because there were some bodies that came up unidentified. I think one was in Memphis, one in Arkansas somewhere. But they took Debbie and Foo's DNA to get Mark because they didn't have Mark or teeth or it's in there now.
And this is one of the cases that I've been trying to look at different areas that we feel need to be searched because this is one of the cases I do want to go down and do some searches on. So if you or the family do happen to have locations you would like to get searched, reach out to us and we will get those added to our list as well. But I definitely want to make it down there to do some
There
search.
may be a couple that need GPR.
Right.
Because of a person that might have been involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get those to you for sure. I mean, we that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Nail those. You know, I'll say, well, you know where that one is, Armorel or this, that, or another, and I need to nail it down.
And if you guys go to do a search, if you need to talk to somebody on how to do different things with that search, how to line up a search, anything like that, also reach out to us anytime. I mean,
I will.
You can get any of us anytime.
We tag team all the time. He'll say, "Hey, live conference." Anything y'all need that I can do, let me know.
And guys, let's keep this case in the public eye. The
Yes.
more attention has been stated, the more attention this gets, the better it's going to be.
Right.
And a lot of times that's what brings missing people home, the attention.
That's right.
Yeah, I think we're going to be doing an update on this in about a week and a half or so, and it's going to be closing out.
Right. Absolutely.
Y'all be down here with us, and we'll just all say, "Yep, I'm so glad we did that live show."
Telling you.
And I had the first 6 weeks of the summer free. So I may be taking a journey.
That's right. That's right.
We might have trouble around here, huh?
I'm still waiting on the here in Oklahoma, so there ain't really much to do here except for another case that I just found recently. So
We'll keep you busy.
How's the tumbleweeds down there these days?
where in Oklahoma?
Yeah.
I don't see none.
Not yet.
I went to, it's been about, 12 years ago, I went to Optima, Oklahoma. Like way over in the Panhandle part.
Oh, yeah.
I went over there to, I had bought a truck off an auction, and it was at, it was called Seaboard Farms. Huge, I think it's a huge pig operation. And I had never, I've been all through Kansas my whole life, but I had never seen a rolling tumbleweed. And I was driving down the road, and all of a sudden I saw these things going across the highway, and I was like, what the heck is that? And they were like the size of dishwashers and dryers. Then all of a sudden I had a brand new truck. Brand new, like a month old. And then I was like, all of a sudden, bam! One of them hit the side of the truck while I was
Oh
driving.
no.
It just like exploded into just particles of nothing. So it didn't hurt the truck, but I was just like, I had never seen them before.
Right.
Tell you what, you get in certain parts and there'd be just hundreds of them rolling across. It was the funniest thing ever.
Arctic Fox says, what part of Oklahoma? I'm on the Oklahoma-Arkansas state line. Wow.
Yeah, he's in between me and Jenny.
Just true. He gets it. Keeps a good eye on it, though. I'll know what's coming every day.
Does anybody else have any questions for her right now?
Yeah, talking. Y'all won't be able to ask no questions. I'll keep this.
Oh, Wolfie Cat's even. She's by they're by Stillwater. So there you go, Dan.
They better be good, or he's gonna have people beating on his door down there.
Nothing new.
Hey,
It's
look,
bad
y'all
enough-
got to be nice to Dan, though. We need Dan.
Yeah, yeah.
It's bad enough I go into an area that has real bad problems with a certain racial group.
Okay. Arctic Fox even said, you want rolling tumbleweeds, go to Kansas. Nothing but tumbleweeds and sunflowers as far as the eye can see. You are not wrong.
That is true.
Yeah. And then Bobby, of course, Tennessee, Kentucky state line, but yeah. And Wolfie Cat, prayers to the family. Absolutely. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dan brought me to this live show. Well, we are glad you are
Yes.
here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Jenny, we're going to continue to do everything that we can to help in Mark's case. I mean, it's been far too long, and he needs to be brought home.
He does. I believe y'all are gonna do it. Y'all bring him home.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's do it.
Yes, ma'am.
We try everything we can in our powers to help, one way or another. So
And if you ever need anything, we're all here. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
I can do something for y'all, which I not in this way y'all have done for us, but I'm here. I'll be one of those 100 people that show up when y'all need somebody. Okay.
Just do this for me. Just stay strong. Keep the faith. Okay.
yeah. And anytime you all need to talk, discuss, you're bored, you need to get it off your chest, get it out of your head. We're all available. You can, message us, whatever. Somebody will talk to you anytime.
Yeah, she's stuck talking to me every day.
Yeah. Like, who are we gonna get today, man? Who are you gonna-
Okay.
So it's
Actually,
been-
on up so quickly, it's solved.
Now, that talk about that hole. Whenever you get that information, I'll send you the email to the team. That way, everybody can read it all at once.
Mhm.
That tip that was sent to you guys.
Yes.
That might be one that needs GPR on if the hole is filled in.
And I think it is. I think it was a lot deeper than what we had originally been talking. That's why there was so much talk of there was this burn on him and that put on him, and he's way down in there. It's like, man, 30 something feet deep. That's a guess. I was thinking just they put him out there, but it's I don't know.
A lot of the reason is they think below 6 feet, a cadaver dog ain't going to pick up a smell.
That's probably what.
Which is it. When I talked to the team from Oklahoma, they train their dogs over cemeteries to make sure they don't hit on graves
Mm-hmm.
and they hit on something that's not in a grave.
That's awesome.
So,
Can do that.
Yeah, I'll get you those. I'll get you the exact instead of telling you as the crow flies.
yeah, because we got to get this closed before Debbie can't handle it no more.
Yep, we done passed that. They got.
Yeah, she's taking it roughly.
She is, and she don't know why. She said, "Well, I thought that I'd be on the way feeling better right now because we are doing a lot more though." And after we lost Daddy in May, when things got kind of straightened out in my mind where I was at with that, I just was going to told Daddy that during my lifetime that I was going to find out what happened to Mark. He told me he passed away at 80, and he said, "Yeah, I'm not going to find out what happened to my first grandson before I go to heaven. So I hope that y'all do." And so we're going to.
That's right. That's right.
One way or another.
Right. Yep.
He's going to get his justice.
Yes.
Seeing Arctic Fox True Crime says, I've covered Mark a few times on my channel. His case has always stuck with me. I do want to say, Arctic Fox True Crime and any others that you have a channel or a Facebook page that's covered Mark's case, you're more than welcome to share a link in the comments so any of the viewers can go over and check that out as well. I mean, the more attention on Mark's case, the better.
Yep.
That is very true.
Yes.
Very true. Keeping it going, keeping the information fresh, 100%. That's the way to do it.
We had someone when we were posting on the Lieutenant Governor's Facebook page. He never heard of Mark's case, and all I posted was justice for Marc Fullerton, and the guy got defensive because why you keep posting that on this page? Well, I told him, I was like, look up Marc Fullerton, and not 20 minutes later, he replied back apologizing. He said he never knew nothing about it.
Wow.
And
Wow.
the governor?
It was someone that commented on the Lieutenant Governor's page.
Oh, okay.
The governor has not, at least not responded to me. I probably sent close to an email a day for the past, what?
Jeez.
5 months?
Wow.
Yeah.
Guard dog Dan, he's on it.
Oh, they don't like me. I guarantee it.
Gosh, man, you act like you care.
Facebook without my 2 cents coming flying onto their page.
He does too.
Seeing that's just going to add to the pressure to where eventually they are
Right.
forced to do something.
Right.
Yep.
We shouldn't have to make it to that point, but if that's what it takes.
Unfortunately, yeah, exactly. Like, not to change the subject, but Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm seeing some similarities with Mark's case with some of those in Tennessee. Granted, they're not connected in any way, but I'm seeing some real similarities in those.
Like Lisa and Mark. It's just, I don't know if I introduced you to Lisa yet.
As in Lisa Key?
Jenny.
Oh, I'm sorry. Duh. Jeez, you're talking to her.
You've talked to Lisa.
Good night. Sorry.
I'll bring her into the Missouri group that I created.
Yeah.
That way you can.
You ladies will hit it off big time.
Yeah.
So.
And another person from Missouri's in that group, Noelle's mom. So
Bridget, yeah.
Bridget,
Very sweet lady.
Oh, yes.
and she knows all about you. You've already got to talk to her, so you already know if she knows all about what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing
Lisa's in the comments right now.
Hey, Carrie. Hey. Hi, Lisa. Speaking of the devil.
Her ears were ringing.
Yep, apparently, yeah.
Seeing Lisa and Vicky are going to join us on a live feed soon to discuss Aaron's case,
Yep.
Joshua Bohannon,
Yep.
and some of the other Tennessee cases.
Yeah.
I think our next month of Sunday shows are pre-booked with guests on cases.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're getting quite a bit, which is great. You know, it definitely helps when we have, you know, family members, friends that, you know, will come and, you know, discuss, because it's more of a personal, I guess, like intimate, personal,
Yeah.
you know, the story, who the person was exactly, you know, and, you know, I mean, we are so blessed to have our guest tonight, you know, be a part of us and talk to us and tell us, because, you know, we can go all over social media and read about Marc's case, but now we have a different look at it because
Right.
we've had, you know, an upfront conversation with a family member, you know, and that makes the world a difference to me.
Me too. Oh, absolutely.
You know, and just like we've talked with Lisa, you know, about her situation with her son, you know, and I think it truly does make a huge difference how people look at cases, or, you know, even our audience tonight, you know, our people that are with us tonight viewing this, you know, episode, you know, I hope it helps them and, you know, their research and everything that they're doing, because, you know, it's just the better way of looking at stuff and research and looking at it when you can actually talk to someone who was related to the situation, you know. So I'm very thankful for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I had assumed from what I've been able to find on the case that Marc was a good guy.
Yeah.
And she was able to confirm, you know, he really was.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, I don't believe Marc knew this was coming. And I'm also with the, you know, was it just intent or was it an accident? And I personally, I lean more towards this wasn't supposed to happen, but it did.
Yeah.
And then you've got your panic mode. What do we do now?
Yeah.
And that's more what I read into this. But again, that's just my theory. No proof,
Right.
not a fact, but
Yeah.
my theory on what may have happened on this.
Yeah.
And definitely I want to do some searches on this case.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely not this can be an easy weekend trip, you know, for us to go down, you know, do whatever we can possibly do to help out. You know, it's and I think we need to get it on our list, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. So
I'll be right back.
the pizza's ready.
So guys, was there any more questions for Jenny on Marc Fullerton's case? I do have one. On the missing persons flyer, it says he's been missing since May 3rd of 2020, but then I've also heard that it was June 3rd. So what was the date that he actually went missing?
June 3rd.
June 3rd. Okay.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, I've been seeing June. It was like, I'm seeing May. Which one was it? I think this one said May as
Yeah.
well.
No. Yeah. No. That's June.
That is June.
That is June.
Okay.
Well, you guys are able to see everything that's in that group now. So and they keep pretty good close eye on that.
Yeah.
So, guys, with that, Jenny, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Go.
I'm honored.
Nope.
And
Go.
again, you
Fully.
are welcome to reach out to us at any time for anything at all.
I will.
As Alex said, if you guys just need to talk, vent, if you're bored and want to talk about the weather,
Right.
just know we're here for you guys.
I know y'all are. I've been wearing that out, so I will. Thank you. Will you?
I tell you what, I'm ready for some sunshine,
Yeah.
and ready for the grass to finally start turning green. Because I went to Tennessee 2 weeks ago to get another machine, and the grass was already green down there. They'd already been grass.
Of course it is.
The flowers were blooming, and we come back up here, and I'm already colorblind, so it looks like it's black and white and gray most of the time.
Oh.
So I'm just like, oh, where's the flowers? Where's the green? And I literally, Tammy and I woke up. I don't know. I think it was about 2:30, 3 o'clock this morning. And it sounded like a nasty thunderstorm without the thunder and lightning. It was raining that hard.
Oh, wow.
And I literally have people lined up tomorrow to come by cow poop. I'll just say it, cow poop. I got people lined up tomorrow to come by cow poop, and now it's too muddy.
Oh, darn it.
I sent it, Lisa. You want me to send her one to Shane Keys too?
Yeah, Jenny, Dan will be sending you a link to a Facebook group called Tennessee's Dark Cold that Lisa Key runs.
Thanks,
Very
guys.
good group.
Let me know if I can do anything. Okay. I'm
I
gonna get
sent it to both of them. I sent you both of them.
All right. Well, y'all holler at me anytime you want, and I'm easy to find.
All right. Thank you
All
so
right.
much
Thank
for
you very
joining us
much.
tonight.
Thank you, dear. It was nice to meet you.
God.
Sweet.
Tough case.
Oh, sweet lady. Goodness.
And she held it together.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was nervous when we talked earlier, but she did very well.
Yes.
Sweet lady.
Definitely a strong family.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know they're having it going,
Right.
but very strong family.
Mm.
And guys, if you have any information on this case, or if you have any theories or locations you feel need to be searched on that case, please get those over to our email address so we can get that added to our search list. And we will continue the search list on this case and get this scheduled. I don't know. I've got to do a search on this case at this point.
Absolutely.
Well, like I said, this is definitely, I mean, we know how we can roll. So this can definitely leave, Friday night, stay somewhere, get down there Saturday morning, stay Saturday night and, head back Sunday afternoon. And, we can be back in time, in the late afternoon for everybody to be rested up, etc., for work the next day. But yeah, I mean, it's just, to me, it raises so many red flags with so many things that had happened, the bleach in the house, the hiding of the truck the night before, or the day of, or the night before,
Burning of evidence.
Yeah, I mean, so many red flags, that unfortunately it just doesn't sound that he just got up and disappeared on his own.
No.
No.
And the cross was the first thing that got me. That cross meant so much to him. He never went without it. And for it to be found broken in the floor of that house, that was the first thing that made me think there's something wrong here. Something happened here.
Yes, Bobby.
Not to mention the way the house looked. It looked like there was a fight in that house.
Yes.
The pictures are on the page. It's bad.
Lisa
Yeah,
said,
it's plain sad.
yeah, Lisa said bleach, as in what?
So did I catch what she was saying right? That in the days to come or a week later, they had installed new flooring in the house, and
Yeah.
Yes.
there had been painting and drywall repairs to holes in the walls, etc. So there was a huge, there was a huge reason that these people went to this effort to do all this.
Oh,
It
yeah,
just,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yep.
just red flags every which way you look at it, and
Huh.
And
Wow.
your question about, is there possibly bigger fish to fry in the area why something hasn't been done on this?
Yes.
I think that could be a real possibility there.
Yeah, because it's a big drug problem there.
Well, I wondered about that. And then, another thought that crossed my mind, and I can kind of throw this back out because we had discussed this in Randy's case. Was there a possibility, even though there's an age difference, but, at one time we had talked in Randy's case, is there a possibility that he could have gone to the witness protection program because of stuff that he had saw, and he was in fear for his life? And, we had discussed that a few times, and at first I kind of thought about that earlier today when I was rambling through my head about going over what I had been watching on videos. And then I just thought, no, there's too many things that went wrong with the scene. But I did keep in my head the whole thought of maybe the police are not 100% fulfilling what they need to do to solve his, because there could be a bigger fish to fry scenario, and he's a part of it. It's just they weren't 100% moving forward because maybe Mark's case is something bigger in a whole grand scheme of something bigger that's going on in that area. So,
Right.
There was a lot of talk about other people that bodies were found around that area, but more closer to the river, where one of the people that might be involved, I won't say that they are because there ain't no proof yet.
But Dan, are we talking people that went missing, or are we talking about people that were murdered?
Murdered.
So murdered people that were found.
There's a group of people there that you don't want to mess with.
Right.
They're all part of the same clique as far as drugs, violence.
Yep.
I mean, the one person that might be involved in this one, I told his background. And let me tell you, he got away with some stuff. A lot of stuff he should not have gotten away with. More drugs than anybody's supposed to be carrying. He gets stopped by the police and nothing gets done. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
He got 3 years on trafficking meth. A large amount of meth.
Did he serve those 3 years?
No.
Did he serve any time?
Maybe less than a year.
Oh my goodness.
You remember that guy that we looked up for Crystal Kipper's case?
Yeah.
Take out the murders and the sexual assaults. His background was like his.
Oh wow.
That long.
Jeez. Huh.
And there's a big circle of a bunch of different people.
So are you saying in a way that he went to jail for a year, but he took one for the team?
I'm thinking
that type of scenario cover up.
Something like that. something like that. Whether he's working as a CI now and took a deal, or he provided some sort of information to get his sentence reduced. But I looked up the punishment on that charge. He should not have gotten not even 3 years. He should have got 15 to 20 years. Because it was 3 felonies committed in the same act.
Yep.
Wow.
Gosh.
And Lisa, Mark went missing from Braggadocio, Missouri.
Boy, you said that perfectly.
Had to say
Remember
it
how
fast
we-
so
I
it
can't
comes
pronounce
out.
Remember
that
how
name.
we fought with that, trying to figure that out?
And Bobby is correct. I do not have a drink at this moment, and I am very thirsty.
What exactly is moon juice, Dan?
Dr. Pepper.
That's it. Yeah.
Don't you remember that?
Duh.
Braggadocio, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that down near the Boot Hill of Missouri?
That is in the boot.
Okay.
Yep.
That's weird.
It's if you look at the way the boot is, if you draw a line straight across, it's like right there.
Oh,
So is that if it's all? So we're talking the southeast corner of the state, right?
Yes, it's in between Tennessee and I believe Arkansas it is.
Well, how far away are we from all of Lisa Key's situation in Tennessee in this general area? Because if it's right in that little corner, then it's just kind of cattywampus to Tennessee, Arkansas. I mean, are we talking there could be possible connections
Well,
in all of these?
oh God.
if you talk to Lisa, there is a connection with a thing that goes on between the states from Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of states that are connected to this drug trafficking.
Maybe we should send Lisa a link real quick and she can hop in and talk with us. Is that a possibility for 10 minutes?
Let's see here.
Do I need to move?
Oh,
If she wants to.
Oh, she'll jump in. Watch. We were talking earlier.
I watched the video of her on the news.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was her TV that someone was videotaping her on, and that was the TV that she received.
Yeah, from the giveaway. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will be right back. My back's killing me.
Hey, Christy, can you get me something to drink?
What you want?
How about a Fresca?
What?
A
Hey,
Fresca.
that's pretty good. I like that drink.
I actually have some downstairs, and I'll be honest with you, I had never had a Fresca ever till last year. Jeff and I was putting in an electrical service, and it was about 150 degrees out that day. And me and Jeff, I was on the excavator digging away, and Jeff was in the ditch gluing pipe together. And Jeff brings me a Fresca, and I slammed that sucker, and I'm like, wow, this is really good. And
Where did you send the link?
I'm pulling her up on Messenger right now to send it over to her.
Okay. I think she heard you.
And the computer is going so slow.
You must
Tell
have
you
set up
what.
a link too.
Let's go this route.
I keep looking over at the bottom left of my screen, and I'm seeing that little saying there that starts out with the B word. And I was like, what is that?
Uh-oh.
And Lisa, I just put the link in the comments here if you want to click on that. My computer was going very, very slow pulling up Messenger. So I just put it here in the comments.
I was just curious because if if this situation with Mark is all the way in the southeast, very bottom corner of the state, and being that close to Tennessee, and Lisa's situation in that situation, isn't it over on the west side of the state, on the whole west side? And I was just curious, if it's close enough that it could all be intertangled.
I think she's like 300 miles away. I'm not 100%. I did ask her about it a while back, though.
Yeah.
See, if you made a triangle right there, then you're looking at, in the Arkansas side, possibly Brooke Allensworth case. It has some of these strange similarities to it as well.
There was also talk about Mark's body being drove across to the Tennessee border, because there is a straight road that goes from where he was to Tennessee.
So now, Mark had, did he have dentures or implants?
Dentures.
So he's got full dentures. So he doesn't have the metal screw-in studs anywhere in his gun.
No, I don't think so.
So and I hate to say this, but his remains would definitely be very obvious with the teeth missing, and that being, that would definitely raise an eye, I would say, to a coroner, that if found skeletal remains would look at it and say, this is odd. There's no teeth in this skull, or this jaw, and that would definitely, I would say, would raise some concerns to a coroner,
Right.
looking at remains. So
I think Lisa's backstage.
There she is. We'll get her pulled up here. There's Lisa.
Hi guys.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good. How's that TV working out for you?
I'm not talking to you.
How's your TV working out?
I like it.
Good deal. Good deal.
It works well. Free TV's great.
So in your opinion, like what Dan said, how close is this situation to your all situation in Tennessee? If he's in if Mark's case is in the very southeast, bottom corner of Missouri, where do you?
I'm going to say you're close with the three. I think it's going to be like 300 miles, like they were talking, maybe just a little more. But there's 13 states tied together.
Yeah.
Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Louisiana, Tennessee, Kentucky. Illinois is actually tied in.
Wow.
North Carolina, Virginia.
Wow. It's so sad. There's so much of this stuff going on. So much, just
There's a lot of delay in this.
Is there? Are you all getting delay? Dennis and Dan?
I'm getting a little bit of delay with Lisa, but the rest hasn't.
Huh.
Now, Tennessee just went through a bunch of storms yesterday.
I'm farther away. But
I was just catching up on comments here, reading.
Okay. But I think there's a good chance a lot of it's tied together. Okay.
Well, I had watched your news interview. That was pretty awesome. I'm glad you got to do that.
It's about time those cases started getting TV time like that and news covering that.
I didn't realize it was 10 months ago that it was filmed.
Oh, that was 10 months ago?
Yep.
You know,
Oh, wow. I thought that was just the other day.
She reposted it.
Oh.
It showed up on my news feed. And I thought it was a new thing too. And then I asked her about it.
Oh, wow. I thought it literally just happened just a couple days.
yeah. But the DAs and the government here are controlling what goes into the press, what's generally covered on. Ooh. I've got a squeak. It's getting to me.
Oh, we're sorry.
Oh, sometimes the link, you have to send it to me in like a text message or messenger. For whatever reason, it does better.
Oh.
Oh,
Well,
it's not.
Well, if it's too much, we can catch up with you again at another time.
Okay. All right.
We just you a few questions, in that if, maybe you had thought there was a connection and stuff. So, but, well, we hope you're doing well. And,
okay. All right.
We'll
Bye-bye.
talk to you. Bye-bye. It was like really long delays before anything would happen. So, well, I saw that Bobby had thrown in a couple comments about Randy. So we could address that real quick. So as for the car and the experiment, we still no dice. I did have a friend that I'm friends with on Facebook. He sent me one, and it was the silver Chrysler New Yorker. But it's another one that's just too much money. And I had discussed with him a little bit about it, and he sent me a link to a Facebook page for a guy that said that he has a junkyard or something, but he could probably point us in the right direction for finding one. So I will reach out to him tomorrow and see what we can come up with, if he has any idea of any of these, that we're looking for, and he might have any leads or anything, on one.
I thought of something. You know how you get all these push, pull, or trade companies? I wonder if we tried calling some of them.
What kind of companies?
You know the companies that offer you money for your car and they come out and pick it up?
Yeah. It's possible. I mean, I have a friend on Facebook who he's all the time buying junk cars all day long. He's always advertising to buy junk cars. And I had actually I had one of our cases, and it might have been Abby Schaefer's. He's right over in the area. He lives in the area where Abby went missing, and I reached out to him about the BMW, and Dennis didn't bring us a drink.
Yeah.
But I had reached out to him, if by chance he had come across that car, because every day he's on Facebook trying to buy junk cars. He's a little bit of a celebrity type character in the Kansas City area. If you've ever seen the Cash for Cars,
Yeah.
that's him. He's a real hoot. So, but no, he didn't have anything, on it. But yeah, I guess it might come down here in the next week or two that we just have to do the research and try to find a car that's the same weight, the same length. I mean, to get spec wise as close as we can possibly get. That might be what it comes down to, which I really didn't want to do that. I really truthfully wanted to go with the exact same car. That way, when we try to do these things, we can say, hey, this is the car. This is the exact same car. This is the same car that rolled off the chassis, the assembly line. But instead of saying Dodge, it said Plymouth or Chrysler on it. But at this point, there's only that super nice blue one that they want $4,500 or $5,000 for. And then there's the Chrysler New Yorker. The lady that did live in Kansas City that had the Plymouth Caravelle, she did sell it. She didn't offer up the information on who owned it now, and I didn't push the envelope to get it from her. But she did respond back and tell me that she did sell it, and it was gone. And hers was very nice, too. So, yeah, I don't know. Just as for that, that's the only thing I can think to do is, was a Ford Taurus or a Ford Tempo? What GM car was oh geez, what was the cars that Buick made and Pontiac made? Pontiac Grand Am, Grand Prix, the 4-door cars, in the 90s. Can we look up the specs and try to see if one of those is close in weight? Because we just basically want to recreate what kind of damage it could have left going through the weeds, the grass, going into the water, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, I really, really wish we could find the right one within a reasonable budget, because I really would hate to destroy a really nice car that cost a lot of money, just to literally wad it and bury it and drag it through a pond and take it to the crusher. And, I just honestly, I truly thought we would find one by now, and we not. I mean, I guess we shouldn't say we haven't, because we have found some, but they're just too much money.
And with the experiments, I was able to pick up some tires today somebody was getting rid of. And we were talking in Randy's case, if brake fluid was on the tire and ignited, would the tire catch fire before the brake fluid burn off, or gasoline? So I do have the tires now to use for those experiments, and we'll be doing those soon and filming them to document that as well.
Awesome.
Now, are you going to do them with air in them?
I'm going to do it both ways. One of them is going to have air in them. One of them is not.
Well, let me know.
That has a 99 Grand Am.
Is it a 4-door version? And would you be willing to donate it in the world of research and science.
In other
I
words,
promise
they
it-
want to beat it up.
Yeah, it will not come back in the same condition.
It's gonna go past being beat up. It's gonna go to no end and not back. Unfortunately, because trust me, we're gonna set on the phone at 4 a.m. and we're gonna call the salvage yards and we're gonna be live at 4 a.m. with us videoing, and we're gonna try to see if a salvage yard will answer the phone at 4 a.m. Which, I mean, let's be honest, we know they're not, but we're gonna try.
Right.
Because we got to exhaust all possible accusations and rumors.
Mm-hmm.
So we will definitely try. And,
Unless somebody at the party was friends with the person at the salvage yard, I find that hard to believe.
absolutely. I mean, we cannot think that somebody wasn't. Somebody, I mean, let's be honest. Somebody usually knows somebody that has a. Because what is it? There's 10 ways of separation from any person in the world. What is there some science behind that? And I truly, I mean, look at me. I'm related to the one of the Salem witches. She was my 11th great grandma. So she was one of the Conjuring movies. Was supposedly made about something to do with her. Yeah, that's my 11th great grandma, everybody.
That explains so much, Alex.
I know.
You know how you were talking about the old cases?
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up because I have been going through a lot of these groups I'm in.
Yeah.
And it is amazing how many of the old cases are starting to get solved now.
Really?
Yes. There was even a guy that knew that he didn't know he was kidnapped. He knew he was adopted. And he seen something about some woman finding out she was kidnapped from way back in the day. So he decided to look up him. And he found him when he was younger. And they did DNA tests to prove it was him. 44 years. He did not know he was abducted.
Wow.
And
I kind of think, kids getting abducted, I guess I shouldn't say, I think, but I remember seeing lots of things about kids that did get abducted a lot in the 70s and 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
As for cases right now, is it possible that a lot of these little kids have been abducted? Yeah, very well could be, because wasn't there at one time a pretty good racket with people stealing babies at the hospitals and then putting them up for adoption? And these people were, I mean, I think it was on what was the CSI? What was one of those shows that was always on? What the heck was it?
Switched at birth?
Well, I mean, I know I've watched a couple episodes where I want to say it was CSI or one of those shows. I can't remember. But people were going into the hospitals and acting like they were family members, and they would go in there and steal babies, and then they would sell them and make up these fake adoption things, and then they would find people who put ads in newspapers or, hanging around adoption places, and they would sell these, babies. And I believe that stuff used to happen a lot.
Have you ever heard of the Kimberly Mays story, Switched at Birth?
Wasn't that a made-for-TV movie?
It was afterwards. They based that movie off of her story. I went to school with her in high school.
Wow.
She was switched at birth by a family with the last name of Twiggs. And it took quite a few years before they found out that she was not the actual child that they had. So they actually, there was a lawsuit that she did go back to her regular family for a while, and then she had her own family, and then that movie came out, Switched at Birth.
Well, I know there is, so here in Kansas City, there is, and Dennis might remember this because I think we've talked about this. There was the guy here in the 80s and 90s, and he had all kinds of scams going on, and he was murdering these women, and he was putting them in barrels in his pond on his land. So one of those women had a year-old baby, and she was, this guy basically lied to his own brother and basically said that he had got the kid from some adoption agency because his brother and his wife couldn't have kids or something. And then when 2020 did a show on that whole situation, you know, this girl flew into town and they basically, you know, did stuff with telling her that, you know, your real mom was one of these women that he killed, and they had never found her body yet. Well, my uncle was a private investigator, and he's one of them that helped find her and do all this stuff, you know, in the whole long end run of the whole situation that happened. But yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy, the different things with these old cases that, you know, there's another one in Kansas City, Missouri, and I think it was 72 that the mother, the father, and both children, which was 2 and 4 or 2 and 3, a little boy and girl, and all 4 of them disappeared, you know, and the cars, all their belongings was there, but they literally all just got up and disappeared, you know, and to this day they've never been found. And there's numerous, you know, very young kids that, you know, went missing in the 70s and early 80s in Kansas and Missouri. You know, and is it they ran off? Did someone snatch them? You know, it's just, it kills me. It really does. It kills me when I start reading information and I'm hammering away, then all of a sudden I'm like 4 years old and it gets me right here in the throat and I can't talk sometimes, you know.
Did you get the chance to read all that stuff I sent you about the Native American people?
I don't think I did. I'm not sure. It depends on, did you send it in our group talk chat?
No, I sent it. Remember when you did the video about Native American people?
The cases in South Dakota.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I sent you around that time. It's probably still in your Facebook Messenger.
Okay, I'll go back and look when we get done tonight.
But the amount of young girls that go missing, like the show I watched last night was about missing and murdered women in Montana. Unbelievable how many. Unreal.
You know, my brother, he was in the oil field for 10 years up in Wofford City, up by Minot and all that up in North Dakota. And there was a missing girl from one of the reservations that was gone for quite some time. And my brother's best friend, who owned the tow truck company up there, he is, I can't remember how many years she was missing, but that was on different news shows and all that. But he was the one that pulled her out in her truck when they found her truck and everything in the I can't remember if it was in the lake or the big lake that's up there or the river. But my brother's, one of his best friends, he was the one that pulled her out. And because it was a huge case up there. So
Now we do got to find somebody that can do a water search in Texas. Because where Corey Williams' car was found, there was never a water search, and there's a lake, like I'd say no more than 50 feet, 100 feet from where his car was found,
oh wow.
and they didn't search the water.
What happened to the case that we were dealing with just a couple months ago, Dennis? We had looked at the pictures from the images on the bottom of the pond, and we had
That's
discussed
Brooke
Brooke
Allensworth.
Allensworth.
where has that case gone to?
That one, the last update I got was actually off of Rabbit Hole News, or Down the Rabbit Hole News here on YouTube. And from there, I know she's in contact with the family on this case, and they are only working with law enforcement at the moment. So we do have the property in question that I am fully convinced that semen remains in the bottom of that pond. But right now, until law enforcement do what they're going to do, we're basically stuck. But so if they have not got this pond searched by spring of next year, then I'm going to contact the property owner and get in and get that search done. I personally don't want to wait that long, but under the circumstances, we're kind of stuck on that one at the moment. But to my knowledge, so far, they have not been out to search that pond again.
I'll have to try to find my messages. I was speaking with somebody that ran that group that you were telling me about, but I don't see the messages anymore.
Because that's the one where did it not look like her, like a skull and a spine, and it was chained to
a dumbbell? Yep.
And Dennis and I think this was before you were involved with us, Dan. Dennis and I did some snooping, and we found someone who's related to the case, and we were snooping through their pictures, and we found workout equipment in a picture.
Yeah, I know about it.
Yeah. And that's with the same type of kettle weight that you can kind of see on sonar.
Yeah, and a certain person used to work out with it, and it happens to be right there next to the skeleton.
I mean, it honestly, it looks very similar to that.
Yes, it does.
And Joan asked, have you all heard about Georgia Tan from Memphis, Tennessee? It is said that she abducted an estimated 5,000 infants and children and adopted them out over a 20-year time frame.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Jennifer, hey, how are you?
Hey, Jen.
And Joanne, I'm going to have to read up on that. That is crazy.
That is crazy.
I think Bobby made a comment. I think I seen.
Speaking of Bobby making comments, where were you last week, Bobby?
Bobby can't discuss where he was at last week. Bobby was in trouble.
Yes.
Yeah. He's I think he had to do a little time last week. I think he got caught stealing a Snickers bar.
And he said they're also still finding bodies in Lake Mead.
Yep.
And Lake Mead, eye-opening out at Lake Mead.
I watched two different channels that deal with the water level, and I guess they're at this is the time of the year now that Lake Mead, no matter what, will start going down, and it will not start to fill back up till I can't remember the dates, but they said basically from here forward starts the time of the year, which you would think it would be the time when it would start filling up with all the snow melting, but evidently that's already happened up there, that fills into Lake Mead. So but yeah, they're basically saying that everybody's kind of freaking out already again, that what's it going to do this year, how much lower is it going to go, because I can't remember the statistic numbers on how much it did come back up compared to the lowest point last year before winter. But yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know what the actual body count is right now at Lake Mead, what they have found.
Bobby,
we don't even want to go there. I think I'm going to end up having to pull the engine apart in that truck this week, which is really going to make me really upset, but I got to deal with it. So yeah, it's not been fun.
And guys, real quick, next Sunday night, we will be going live. Amber, who is Rachel Conger's daughter, will be joining us live to discuss Rachel Conger's case. The weekend after that, I had forgotten all about being Easter weekend. So that live feed is in the air right now, and if there will be a live feed that weekend, we'll keep everybody updated on that. Then, as we stated, Lisa is going to join us live. Vicky, who is Joshua Bohannon's mom, she will be joining us live to discuss his case as well. And we've got several others who we are in the process of scheduling their live feeds as well, and we'll be bringing them to share their stories with all of you guys. But Marc Fullerton's case, our thoughts and prayers continue to go out with the family. We will continue doing everything we can to help them bring him home. And I mean, guys, we've got a ton of cases. The last time I checked, we have like 117 open cases, I believe it is.
Yep. Yeah,
we few new ones. So and 5 closed. We were at 119, 120 when 5 of them closed, and then you gained what, 4 or 5 more?
Yes.
Dan over here getting new cases for us.
Sorry.
He's like, I got a few more for you. It's all good. We're down for it. Whatever we can do to help families, it doesn't matter. So
they show up on my TikTok. I just send them the email.
That's what we can do, man. It's just try to help these families any way we possibly can. So, and
Alex, Mac Randall Jr. says you will learn words that you didn't know that you knew when you're ripping that motor apart.
I raced for a long time, so I was ripping race motors apart and fixing them and doing stuff. And this is my this truck is my daily work truck, and unfortunately, it is now out of warranty. And it's puking antifreeze, and I think it's puking it out of the back of the head. And it's a Cummins. It's a 6.7 Cummins engine, so I've done everything I can to figure out what's going on with it, and I've just come to the conclusion that it popped the head gasket, and it didn't overheat, didn't do anything. It's just that particular engine in that truck will do it. It just happens. So I can't complain. I just got to fix it. So it'll be down for a couple days while I rip it apart and fix it and get a new cylinder head, because the machine shops around here are 5 to 6 weeks out, and I can't wait 5 to 6 weeks to have the head surfaced and gone through, because I don't want to tear it apart and not fix it right the first time. So I'm just mad. I just don't want to deal with it. I got too much going on, and I've got too many other projects. I've got a Caterpillar track loader that's got a hole in the engine block, and I got to pull it apart. And I got another Bobcat that's got a bad head gasket on it, and I got to fix it. So it's just.
Lisa wants to know how much Alex's shirt is.
Say that again.
Lisa wants to know how much the shirt type you got on is.
Lisa, get a hold of me. Let me know what shirt size you need, and we will get you one of those sent out.
Yes, definitely.
And Joanne says Amber is a sweetheart, Amber Conger, and sure needs closure on her mom's case. Rachel was not just my cousin, but one of my best friends as well. And Megan actually spoke with Amber a day or two ago. I was at work, and so she called Megan and got the live feed all set up. And Megan said Amber sounded like a really, really sweet person.
Oh, man. You weren't supposed to wear your hat this week.
Uh-oh.
We were going to tell Bobby you sold it.
Oh, that's right. Hey, Bobby, this ain't my old hat. This is a different hat.
It's all right. Bobby's going to be doing community service this week, I think.
Lisa says, down, Bobby.
This week, we will definitely be hitting it hard, for Rachel Conger's show. I will start doing my part and hitting any news, and I'm sure Dan will be right behind me. We'll double team them all, and we'll get the word out. And any YouTube shows that were done on her in the past with different hosts, we'll let them know. And if they want to come and talk, just like tonight's guest did, that was awesome. That we had so many other YouTube people that joined in and talked with us. So that was a huge blessing. So, we'll hit it again hard this week, and look forward to next week's show, and just do what we can do to help. It's all we can do is do our best. So
yeah, it's nice when you see other channels like that are not only covering the case, but go to other channels and comment like that.
Yep.
It's just incredible.
Absolutely. And that's what, I thought of today after I got up and cooked breakfast. And of course it was too muddy to do anything, of course. So I was going over other YouTube channels, videos about Mark, and watching stuff, and just getting other people's opinions and their take on what happened. And it's just part of it. But yeah, I was definitely hitting it hard today. Was trying to spread the word, and just like Rachel's stuff coming up, and having her family on with us, we'll do our best and try to get the word out and let everybody know that, hey, this is still going on. You need to be doing whatever you do to help out, spreading the word, sharing it and everything. And we can't forget these people at any cost.
That's a pretty interesting case.
Yes.
I did a lot of looking on that one.
Yeah. So we'll definitely be, working all the avenues of trying to spread the word again and do the best that we can. So.
Hey, Chris, how's it going? Now, on Rachel's case, I did have Megan ask Amber if the location where the vehicle was found, if that had been searched, and she did say yes, she believes that that was searched. So it would, for me, it would depend on who searched it and what type of search. You know, did they bring out cadaver dog or GPR,
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I sure wish we had the availability to have a cadaver dog team at our disposal.
I do in Oklahoma.
Do
we
what? Dan?
do have a team out of Colorado that if we have a case in Colorado, Nebraska, somewhere in those areas, we would be able to call in, but they don't really extend out past that.
Well, hopefully sometime here this summer, we will be making a trip to North Carolina to get the GPR unit.
Yes.
So that hopefully we definitely just got to get that. We definitely need it so bad for so many cases. And I think it will, for one, our own cases, and two, if people reach out to us from other, groups, organizations, etc., that, they will, if they call upon us for our help with it, then we'll definitely be there to help them, So.
And Catfish says, well, all y'all can sit here and yak all night. I have car work to do in the morning, so good night and have a blessed night.
Don't forget about that boat, Bobby. You get that boat, you can have Dennis's hat.
Yes. Well, I don't know. He said up here in another comment, you keep that oily hat. So we were figuring it up. I've probably had this hat now for at least 18 years. And it's broken. It's comfortable.
Man, I used to wear a hat all the time, into high school, my younger years. And then one day I stopped wearing a hat, and I never really ever wore one again for the longest time. And then last year I started wearing one, here and there. And, I just can't wear one no more. I don't know why. It's something weird. So
I got mine, but I don't wear it too often either.
Chris asked, what part of North Carolina? I live in North Carolina.
I would have to look. I'd have to look at where that company's at. The Easy Radar company. I can't remember the exact. I think it's in North Carolina, or maybe it's South Carolina. No, I think it's North Carolina. I would have to. I'd have to look and see. So, but yeah, hopefully we get it. This summer, and because we've only talked about it a billion times.
Yes.
There's so many cases that it could be used on, such a huge asset, to us that, we've got so many cases that we would like to move forward with, but we need it. And, I would hate to reach out to these people and say, hey, we believe this, we want to come search. Oh yeah. Well, what do you got? Well, this is what we need. And we're still it, and then well, if you're not prepared and ready to go, then I want to make sure we have it that way when we move forward. They can't have a reason to deny us because we weren't prepared,
right? Because like Star Boomer's case, I really feel with GPR that I believe we know where she's at. And with GPR, once we're there, it's set up and we begin that search, we're going to know in 2 minutes if she's there or not. And I fully believe she's in that spot.
Yeah. Good night, Lisa. Yeah.
Have a good night, Lisa, and we'll get in touch with you and finish getting the time scheduled to bring you and Vicky on live.
Yeah. I think, and like we've discussed, here at my place, I've got calves that died a couple years ago. Our biggest female cow, No Ears, she passed away, this winter, and I had to bury her down in the cow lot, so I know where she's at. My property had the I don't know if Dan's ever heard the story. So my house is kind of a historical house because on my acreage there was a girls' orphan school, and then it was a girls' college. So my house was the dean's house to the school, and the school was literally like in my front yard and in my pasture. So I got bored a couple years ago, and I decided to dig the yard up and see how much of the school's basement I could find. So I found the basement in my front yard, and I dug it all up. So yeah, I people thought I was crazy, but I had a good time doing it. So I asked that because it's a pretty big thing where I live, because the sidewalk that went from the street to the front of the school is still here in my yard. Nobody's ever torn it out. So it's a pretty big, story in the town that I live in. And I got on Facebook one day, and we were talking about the school, and I said, well, how cool would it be if you could go back in history and walk in the basement and run your hand along the basement wall? And people were like, oh, that would be so cool, and I'm like, well, y'all can come over this weekend and do it if you want. I dug up the basement. People are like, you're a nut job. And I was like, no, I seriously dug it up. And I, posted pictures about it, and they were just like, so yeah, it was really cool. So.
OK Diver asked, have you ever metal detect your property?
Yes, we have. There is a private investigator who lives here in town. And he's a pretty well-known private investigator in the world. He's a very incredible guy. And yes, he has been here, and he's found some pretty cool stuff. We've found, matter of fact, Dennis has another channel. And Dennis hadn't posted nothing on it in a while, but maybe one day we'll do a show on it. And yeah, literally Tammy's got buckets of trinkets and porcelain and makeup tins and doorknobs and marbles and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, when we started digging it up, she was kind of like, Tammy was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I don't know, we're just gonna dig in the yard and see what we can find, because there's literally every time it rains, stuff comes up in the yard. I mean, chunks of brick, doorknobs. You could always find all kinds of stuff. Like
he's gonna find a dinosaur in his yard eventually.
It wouldn't surprise me.
It's really crazy. So my neighbor is a really big time historical buff, and he's a huge historical buff for our town. And, we joked about it one day about, he's just like, man, we ought to dig up your yard someday and just see what we can find. And at that point, I didn't have anything going on that week. And it was just kind of like, do it. Come on, do it. Just get it. Sure enough, we did. And by that night, I had dug out the basement to the point where you could park the machine in the basement of the school. And if you looked across the yard, you couldn't see the top of the machine. So, yeah, it was pretty crazy, but it was pretty fun. I ended up pushing it all in and burying it all back. And we actually have one T-post sticking up, and that's where the bell tower was. And it was really cool. But yeah, if you all one day, if you all want, and Dennis wants to, we can do picture slide, and we'll get all those images and we can put it up on the other channel, and he could share it on this channel. And it was really cool. So, but it was definitely an adventure. It really was. So,
say we've been out to Alex's house, and it is cool out there. I mean, you just walk in the property and feel the history there.
yeah.
And then right down from you is where there was the battle during the Civil War as well.
So, and that's cool that you brought that up, Dennis. So on my property, there was originally 2 schools, and the first school was burned down in the battle of the Civil War. They burned it down, and then they rebuilt it. And so when they rebuilt it, they just built it farther away from where the house is in the yard. So when I decided that I was sick and tired of stretching out 300 feet of garden hose from the house to the cows to water them, I decided to put in a water line. So I took the excavator and dug up the yard, and I drilled a hole in the foundation of the house and put my PEX water line in and did it. Well, when I started digging right in front of the house, I got down about 2 or 3 feet and I started running in buried brick, but they were all burnt. And I was like, holy crap. And Tammy's like, what? And I'm like, do you smell that? And she's like, yeah, it smells like it's on fire. And evidently where the house is, not even 10 feet off the front of the house must have been where the original school was, because I started digging up and it was all burnt brick and ash, and it smelled like it had just been put out, so it was crazy. So yeah, we took lots of pictures and documented it, but it was an adventure. It really was. It was a fun time. So
See, I think Chris H has the comment of the night, though, Alex. He said you might find Jimmy Hoffa one day, LOL.
You never know. So, but yeah, it was definitely a cool, fun time for sure. But yeah, the Civil War battle happened just behind my house, basically in the farm fields. And then what do you think it is, Dennis? A quarter mile from my house is the actual Civil War cemetery where the soldiers that died are buried at. And I've taken Dennis and the girls up there and showed them before. And we walked around in the cemetery, and it's really cool. There's a lot of cool history in this little town. So,
See, and we're going to be doing it's going to be a series because there's so much there, but we're going to do a full series on the other channel covering all of that out there. And I mean, it's just amazing out there.
Yeah, it really is. It's pretty fun because, if you look at stuff or you Google stuff, you'll see pictures of the sidewalk on Google. And I've actually caught people pulling up and taking pictures of the sidewalk that goes up through my yard to where the school was. And, I kind of thought a few times, maybe I should just tear it out and get rid of it. And then I thought, no, it's just too cool. So I even thought about power washing it one day and washing it and, getting all the years of weathering and dirt. And I mean, it's clean. It's just like typical dirty concrete. And then I'm like, no, I'm just going to leave it forever. So
I have to admit, when we were out there, Chrissy and I both had to go down to the end and walk up the sidewalk.
Yeah. And it's, one of my favorite pictures of the school is the one where, it's in the middle of wintertime and the kids are walking up the sidewalk in the snow, and the sides of the sidewalk are just rolled up with snow, and you can see the kids walking, like they're, walking to the school. So, but yeah, it was a orphan school, and then it was the orphans girls school, and then it was the the girls' college, you know, and it was, I think they shut it down in they built the house in 1925 or 28. And then they shut the school down they finally shut it down, I think, in 1931. And it sat empty for 10 years. And then they eventually knocked it all down and they dug a big giant hole and just buried it right here on the property. So
Crazy.
Pretty cool. So I'll share some pictures of it with you, Dan. You'll get a kick out of it. It's really cool.
Well, guys, we've gone for 2 hours and 25 minutes tonight.
Good deal.
And guys, please keep Marc Fullerton's family in your thoughts and prayers. And again, if you have any information, any theories, locations of interest in Marc's case or any of the other cases we're working on, get that sent over to our email that is down in the video description. And don't forget, next weekend, Amber Conger will be joining us to discuss her mother, Rachel Conger's case. I'm sure I know I'm going to be putting out a couple videos this week. I'm sure Alex will as well.
Yep.
And we'll bring Dan on and make Dan do some more. Now, Dan, you were kind of camera shy the first live feed. I think you've come out of a lot of that.
Yeah, I don't even go live on my TikToks.
Say,
I don't have enough yet to do it.
So we've done
I'm
this
at 30 or 2,300 or something like that.
I don't even have enough on my Bobcat page yet to allow me to go live. And Dan's killing it over there on his side.
So guys, with that, there will be more videos, possibly another live feed or two. A couple of the families that I'm talking to this week to schedule live feeds may actually be during the week. That may be what works best for them, and we're going to obviously accompany that for them. But we will definitely keep you all updated on that. But thanks for joining us tonight. Guys, anything else you all want to add?
You know, just as usual, you know, please try to share the videos, you know, on your social media outlets. You know, we appreciate a thumbs up and a like and subscribe and, you know, whatever you can do to help us out, you know, we'd greatly appreciate it.
And definitely keep everybody's face on the eyesight. Don't let them go quiet.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, because I think, Dan, you said it the best earlier. The only way a case goes cold is if everybody stops talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Jen got a question in real quick to Dan.
Hey, Dan, did you see the talk of a potential serial killer in Chicago?
Yes, I did. I didn't get to read up on all of it, but yes, I heard about it.
Oh, boy.
It's getting crazy all across this country.
It is. Tammy's been talking about how crazy things are. Just any which way you look, something's just out of sync, out of control. You know, I was watching a video the other day and they were talking about the reset was coming. And I'm like, okay. Okay.
Right now they're talking about a volcano out in California, Long Valley Caldera.
Well, really?
Uh-huh. It's showing activity.
Oh, wow. Anything on that yet?
I follow all the weird stuff. Don't tell nobody.
I do too. I watch a lot of you know, like in California, I always, because they're always having so many issues. I used to watch tons of stuff about Yellowstone and the
Oh
volcano.
yeah.
You know, they would. I used to. I don't know if you guys heard it, but I do get the. I do a lot of. I watch a lot of stuff with seismic activity. I don't know, for some goofy reason, I find it very fascinating to.
Yeah, me too.
I have it set on my phone for anything above a 5 to go off, and you know, I'm telling you, when it's crazy the amount of stuff that happens constant. You know, it seems like the Earth is in a lot of turmoil right now.
There has been quite a bit of that, Jen. I've heard about a lot of military officers going missing.
Oh wow!
One of our cases is a military personnel out of
You know, I found 2 or 3 cases in Missouri of people that went missing in the 70s, late 70s, or maybe it was the middle 80s, that just got up and disappeared off the military bases in Missouri.
Yep.
So
There's a couple of them in California that are gone.
yeah,
People are saying they went AWOL, but I don't never say that until there's proof.
yeah, that's crazy.
I'm gonna have to look up on that because
Did you guys know that tonight's video was sponsored by J-Lo Beauty?
is that what you've been wearing, Alex?
Believe it or not, I'm sitting at Tammy's makeup desk. That's where I'm at. I'm at Tammy's makeup desk in our bedroom.
Hey, you were getting powdered for the live feed, right?
We can do your nails.
Dan, this stuff works miracles. You should try this, buddy. Clinique Happy.
You guys.
Guys, I think we're gonna end it with that.
I'm gonna get a fake beard
Good
that can
one.
match Dennis. Lord
This-
knows I can't grow one.
And then we also have Clinique Super Balanced Makeup.
We're not gonna hear from Alex for a while. Tammy's gonna be strangling him.
She got mad at me last time because when I did the video, everybody was still here last time, and there was all kinds of clothes behind me, and she's like, "Do you know what was on that chair behind you?" And I'm like, "No, I wasn't paying attention." So, oh yeah, hey, we got to laugh a little bit. Come on now, we got to
Yes. And Jen says it's getting national news attention, but not local. They're speculating that Chicago is linked to something called the smiley face killings over multiple states.
Yep.
Wow. Interesting. I haven't heard nothing about that. Not at all. I think Dennis froze up again.
No, he's writing things down.
No, I'm writing down. I got my computer setting up a little bit and then everything here on the table in front of me.
That's why I put it all on a clipboard.
I do too. I write and take notes too. And I do some doodle drawing too when I'm writing notes.
And I'm also color coordinated still. Everything's in colors.
I'm colorblind, so that doesn't work for me.
And Jennifer says, we'll look for you, Alex. Don't worry.
Just remember, if you see a brown pile of dirt that looks out of place, well, I wait a minute. She knows how to dig, so she knows better. So she'll get me deep enough. Don't worry.
So, guys, with that, we will catch you all later this week. You guys be safe, and we'll see y'all. Oh. She come back.
Hi guys, sorry.
Was the pizza good?
That was great.
Where's mine?
I had a cake and I made out in there.
Wow.
Go in my lunch for tomorrow.
Oh dang it! I miss Lisa. Darn it.
And Max says
Heard all the
Caitlin
things-
still exists.
Yeah.
Alex had a bunch of makeup.
Yes. We were sponsored tonight by
What?
Clinique.
Clinique? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
J-O.
Dan.
And this one's the drunk elephant is what it says.
Oh my gosh, Megan. I gotta tell Megan about this. Holy crap. Thank you, Mac. I know. I know. I'm sorry.
Don't
Everyone's gonna think we're crazy tonight because
Oh wow. Nice.
after everything finished, we just been relaxed.
I know. See, we need to have more nights like this on Sundays.
We're advertising beauty products right now.
Yeah, get some.
Right.
All right.
You missed Dennis in a bikini.
Oh
Dude,
yeah.
I told you not in front of everybody.
You didn't see the bright light?
God. Did he put the glitter on? Did you put the glitter on too?
No, I forgot
All
that.
right. That's for next weekend.
Hopefully he doesn't put a bikini on. We go out on the boat running.
Right.
Oh, you better get that on camera.
No.
Right.
I'm not gonna be that close to him because people
Right. You look at Chrissy, you deal with that.
the people on the bank are gonna be like, what's them two portly fellas out there? One's in a bikini, and the other guy's got a camera.
All right. Well, I wanted to stop back in, guys, before I had to head home to tell you guys good night.
Good
Well,
night.
I guess we'll
Bye,
end it.
guys.
Max says next week is a tutu.
Next week is a tutu.
Hey, Dan will be in the tutu.
Oh, all right, Dan.
I got a rainbow one.
Hey, there you go.
Whoa.
Bye, guys.
Night.
So, guys, with that, we will catch you guys later this week. Y'all stay safe.
Sounds good. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Night.